a very good morning and a very warm welcome to our first panel discussion, where we'll be talking about some of the latest trends, some innovations that's reshaping the real estate sector in the country. My name is Amit Shanbag. I'm an associate editor with Outlook Business, and I'll be moderating the session today. When we talk about real estate sector in the country, it's one of the largest employment generators, with almost 18% of India's population directly and indirectly dependent on it. It has almost 250 industries, which is allied to it. We can talk about cement, steel, and a lot of other industries. Since the last couple of years, especially post the pandemic, we see a lot of changes happening in the sector. The advent of new age technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, prop tech, digitization of records, and also some of the interesting innovations we see co-living spaces, co-working spaces. These trends and these innovations have reshaped the way real estate sector is operated now. We've got a very interesting panel today. We've got some of the industry representatives and leaders who are going to talk about these interesting trends. So my first question is to you, Mr. Swapna Kumar. So when we talk about the real estate sector in the country, it's generally believed to be a very touch and feel kind of a sector. For instance, suppose I'm going to buy a property, so generally, the traditional way of doing it is I go out, I have a look at the property, then I take my family, I take my friends along, then I finally make a decision. But now with the advent of new age technology virtual tours and augmented reality, so how has that reshaped the way traditionally how properties are purchased in the country?
Definitely, see today customers have been more knowledgeable, due to a lot of the initiatives that are happening, and even in construction industry there are certain things which surprises me when I hear it from a customer, whether this is a green certified building, whether are you doing something for carbon footprint, or whether you are reducing something on this. And thanks to people over here, like Mr. Shekhar Reddy here. So when he started this green, building kind of a property show, so which actually differentiates from projects which are not green certified versus the projects which are green certified, there was a huge response, which was a very big surprise for us even. The customers who are coming in, so see, green building simply is not a green building, so it has certain points and something which we have to achieve. And when we look into it, we understand that there are a lot of things that that are taken care, and then the customer comes and asks us. Right. So the answer to your question is yes, customers are growing aware. Customers' expectations are more. So growing needs in future requirements and then practicalities. I think there's a lot of expectation which has grown these days, right, due to awareness growing up in the customer's mindset or whatever it is. That's what I see as a trend.
So do you believe that it's mostly post the pandemic that such a boost has happened in the sector?
Definitely, because post pandemic, I think, see, the home buying has become, people wanted to have a home. That was seen as a trend of sales which happened to us post COVID across India, which is very evident. Second thing is, during that time, people, I think, have got time and they've made certain things, and they've got the time to make a decision, like what kind of a home is good for them, what should we look in a home, and who are the developers who are, actually, adopting certain practices which would meet to their, vanity or kitty, whatever. So that trend is seen, post-COVID, because people's, choices for homes have become more. Right. In the choices, they're looking for the best of the options that they can get. Yeah.
Right. I would like to come to Mr. Bopanna Rao now. So, when we talk about smart building solutions, smart building technologies, so what is the kind of impact that has on the way real estate is operated now?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it is really important that, as Swapna said, customers' requirements are, gearing up to all these new things, and they are looking at all these things. Even the smart building systems also, mostly they are all coming from the requirements of the customers only again, and whatever new innovations they are looking at, we as a builder, we need to adapt to those requirements. When it comes to smart and all, we had to provide certain things like, home automations. Previously, it used to be a sort of, luxury things for, a lot of big properties, and it has become a sort of, thing which is required for even a two-bedroom apartment also nowadays. That is one of the aspects which we are giving. And as you said, rightly mentioned, the green concept which is coming up from all the customers' requirements, like IGBC is promoting, all the builders to get into these green buildings. Certain new technologies, like, they are, dictating the timelines of the buildings, completion of the buildings. Like, we are planning to do certain, what you call composite structures using polystyrene foam and concrete connecting. We are working with JLL to introduce these systems in town. We have been seeing all these systems in Dubai, new innovations, new technologies. And we try to implement certain things in this city, and we are pretty much successful in doing those things properly in town. Like, we started doing certain projects in US, and again, we want to do all these new innovative systems in there also. If it is successful here, we are doing certain experiments here and new R&D here with JLL in town. If this system is successful, then we just want to take approvals for those systems also in certain cities from Texas.
So what you mean to say is, like, integrating these technologies is actually the need of the hour for most of the developers now.
Exactly. Like, the customers are looking at, timelines again. If you have to complete a high-rise building, like, 30 floors or 40 floors in under 3 years, then you need to adapt to whatever innovative systems are coming in our way. Like, you need to use some proprietary formwork systems, like new technologies which avoid a lot of timelines and manpower. You need to integrate all these systems into your construction practices nowadays.
Right. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to come to Mr. Krishna Bhargav Ganugopati. Suppose we talk about some innovative things that you have seen, like some innovative trends. So can you highlight some of the innovative trends, like, co-living, co-working, that you have seen in Telangana over the last couple of years?
Firstly, good morning, everyone. I'm very grateful to be here among such legends who are reshaping the real estate industry in Hyderabad and across India. So thank you for having me here. So, from what Sapna sir and Bhupna sir has mentioned, customer is driving the industry. So right now, after COVID, like Sapna sir rightly mentioned, the choices that customer wants to make is what the industry is trying to implement to give better housing options for the customer to buy. In that, we see that most of the customers right now are millennials and Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Zs, who are partly my age or more than my age. So what I recently see is giving a better customer journey and a better customer experience has become a very big point where that makes the customer decision to buy a house. So like sir mentioned, the technologies, like implementing the right technologies to ensure the delivery periods are met, better resource planning and management is done, and keeping this transparent to the customer. So the customer is aware of what are the delivery deadlines or what is the progress in the projects. Right. And also what are the better sustainable measures are being taken so that they get that holistic life from the house that they buy. Buying a house is almost a dream for everyone, right? So when they do a purchase once in a lifetime, they would want to do a purchase currently after COVID, like sir mentioned, is something that they want to have a holistic life. That includes the sustainability measures, what resources are being used, what amenities, and better ventilation and all that comes under the IGBC guidelines as well. And also the technologies like the VR, like you mentioned in the first question, VR and AI. These are something that are enabling the customer to do improve their decision making, give them more confidence. So in that lines, the industry is also moving, I see. I mean, I'm very new to compare to all of you, but from my perspective, from a young perspective, I see that there's a lot of improvement in terms of improving the customer experience, implementing AI. That also helps the real estate in our industry to know the right customer options. So the data that the customer uses using the AI, right? So we can use that to understand what sizes they're looking at, what are the customer preferences. That also enables us to build better homes for the customer. So in a way, technology is helping the customer and also the industry to deliver better homes to the customer as well.
Right. Thank you. Coming back to you, Mr. Swapna Kumar, what are the basic challenges that developers are facing today as far as integration of technology is concerned in the construction activity?
See, there is actually no problem in integrating the technology. The point, or I would not say it's a problem, the challenge here is, now we have developers. As such, we're supposed to build a green building or something. And when it comes to a technology, any service that we provide to the customer should be of the good usage and should be of this thing. And technology comes with own set of challenges. I'm talking about something like how Mr. Achitra said that home automation or something which we play should not turn against the developer because it's a technology which has to be used in a proper way. That's it. And if it comes to like the other part of technology which is helping the developers, if you ask me, like how he was mentioning about co-living or something. So when we plan to develop a property and we look at what kind of property needs to be done, so the size, the the style, the amenities, or it should be a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, what suits this market, what sells good, and where is the customer coming from. So I think the technology helps us a lot because there are a lot of queries which come, for people. See, initially I didn't know that co-living or something would have that much of a, market demand in certain areas. But when I've seen the research and when I've seen the number of people who are inquiring as such,
right.
So that way we feel that there is a requirement. There is a requirement which the customer is there. Now it is up to us whether to build in that category or not. But then the demand is there. So that's what we know from the technology. So two things for us and from the customer point of view.
Right. Thank you. Coming back to you, Mr. Rao, as a consumer, when I'm thinking of buying the house, so one of the first things that I look at is the cost factor. So do you think that integrating such smart technology will have any kind of impact on the cost part, or will it impact the margins of the developers in the so that is
obviously. See, buying a house is a sort of emotion for any individual. It's a sort of 10-15 years savings and or maybe 5-6 years savings or 10-15-20 years liability. So definitely any customer will look into all those aspects before they take a call on what to buy, what not to buy. When we integrate all these things, nowadays people are thinking like Swapna is selling, Bhargav is selling. A lot of people, they are looking at what sort of amenities we are getting, what sort of aspects this developer is following, whether he is following the systems or proper systems or not. Nowadays RERA is there, and they have given a beautiful thing for them, there is a defect liability period of 5 years for them, which is protecting consumer interest as such. Even local authorities are implementing certain systems, and developers, they have to follow all those aspects. That is how they are getting, protected, and whoever is following these systems, people are taking call to go to those developers mainly. So that is how those systems are taken care of anyway.
Right. So coming back to you, so so what strategies do you think companies can employ to leverage these technologies for the competitive advantage?
Like when Sir was talking also, I was thinking about the same. So when the EV technology, EV cars have come into the play, it was very costly for anyone to buy the electric cars as well, right? So I think technology, when you keep using it, and as the people start using it, the cost of implementing the technology usually comes down. Right. So that's something that as industry, as a lot of associations there, where we can concentrate on how we implement these technologies and try to bring this cost down as a industry together. That can drive the implementation of this technology easier for the developer to bring it to the customer. Of course, at the end of the day, even the developer has to make some money, and also the customer needs to get that benefit, right? So that's something, that's my personal opinion, where this can be in the future, in 5-10 years, long-term vision, this something can be, we won't be even talking about how to implement this technology. We'll be talking about how we can improve these technologies, right? So, and leveraging this in the current scenario, it's about trial and error, I feel. So we keep trying, and we do try different technologies, what works, what not works. There are definitely some market leaders here who are doing it first. So they're setting up standard and how to do things for the rest of the industry. So it's a very interesting times for the whole industry going forward, considering where the technology stands and how the consumer decisions have been changing and the trends are changing. So yeah.
Right, right.
Actually, that's a good point actually touched by Bhargav. See, today, EV has not emerged so much. Like, we don't know the customers who are coming and buying flats with us. How many people actually do buy a EV vehicle, or how many people actually have a EV vehicle? But then what we try to do is make sure that we have, EV charging provision, which we are doing it. But then when I sat with the team, you've actually touched a good point. So it is like, what happens after 3 years? So today we are planning something in terms of infrastructure, in terms of electricity, in terms of load, in terms of area where we are providing it, and if the rush happens to them. So we have to be thinking futuristic.
True.
So like how he said, Bhargav, so it's clearly about your decision today and the amount of investment which is going into it, and keeping customer need above. The decision makes a lot of impact in future. So we all have to agree that EV would definitely come, because alternatively that's what people are trying. So we have to be prepared for that.
Right,
yeah.
right. Coming back to you again. See, the government has also been taking a lot of policy changes, a lot of initiatives on their own. So digitization of land records, was one of them. So what is the kind of impact such policy changes it has on the real estate sector?
See, clarity of, Hyderabad. So from long time, people are worried about earlier, about the documentation, the credibility of the builder, whatever. So by digitalization, I think definitely if everything is at your fingertips and people can access the data, I think that brings transparency and gives peace of mind. They're buying a property. Yeah.
Right. So the next question is to all three of you. So if you can talk about any innovations that you brought in, your own company, and the kind of impact that you have seen that that has had on the business over the last couple of years. I would start with you.
Why? Because I'm the youngest here, is it? So okay. Sorry about that. So. It's been a few years that I've come into this industry, working along with the people in the industry. I think that customer has the information at the fingertips, and the brand presence has become very important in these ages, especially after COVID. I think everyone is out there doing the marketing and all that. So, and we have to be very proud that a lot of young builders, and also those builders who are doing small apartments, are building communities lately. So it's in a way the whole industry is growing big. Looking at that, something that I particularly focused on was doing awareness and also more engaging content, and which will bring more brand awareness and recall rather than the straightforward digital marketing. And also, I think we need to think of innovative ways to be there, to be in front of the customer, because customer has a lot of choices and he's confused at times because of more information he has. So the right awareness and the knowledge that we have to give to the customer is something where we can stand strong and have a longer vision to build the customer trust. So in that lines, we are implementing a lot of CRM technologies and also the digital marketing technologies, where we can actually help the customer, even if not with us, to make a right choice wherever they want to do with the right knowledge.
So
we've tried a lot. We've tried like how Sarah mentioned, we've tried all flats with automation in our very first project, Vivantes, and we've tried many things. But to keep it as a point, like for what you've asked, so we try to understand customer each and every time when the customer is coming, what kind of amenities they're looking at. So I'll tell you some crazy stuff like what people expect. So people asked for a, what do you call a social media room, an Insta room or something, which they can post something, which came as a surprise to me. Right. So changing trends, new generation requirements, and then some family of walked in it, they've asked for a kids gym. Okay. To get children aware at a very younger age and do certain things. See, we definitely practice all these green building things because that's how we get rated. And by doing so, there's a long-term advantage that customer would have in terms of water, in terms of waste management, all other things, which have become a norm. See, the advantage of Hyderabad is we can experiment, and we can play along with it because what I have to say, Mr. Rashekar, so we build very huge spaces. We build very big structures. So we have the advantage of, building bigger communities where you have a leverage of experimenting things, investing on things which are in the benefit of the customers. So Hyderabad as such, I think, is open, and we all as a builder fraternity has to explore those things. There are many things that we can do beyond this, as said, after this, not beyond this. So green buildings, initiatives, smart homes, technologically, things which are, so waste management, all these things are said and done. So we can also do certain things like how I mentioned, EVs, futuristic buildings, which are, the demands from the consumers. That's what.
Right. So the same question to you also, sir.
Yeah. See, my daughter is Anvita, and she's a sports girl. She studies in US, Texas. Like, nowadays, whenever she goes to her friends, everyone is playing with gadgets, and all the kids are busy with gadgets. So she always insists me, provide certain amenities to your customers and their kids. Let us bring them from those gadgets to outside areas by providing certain facilities to them, amenities to them. Like, we are Swapna Kumar or us or Mr. Bhargav, we are working more on, like bigger projects like 10 acre, 15 acre, high-rise towers and all. There we can afford to provide, all sorts of those type of amenities. Like previously, local authorities are insisting like, 3% of your built-up area has to be amenities. And with a cap of 50,000 square feet area as amenities building or whatever. Like in all our projects, like, we are keeping more than 500,000 square feet of amenities area in the form of clubhouses, in the form of, podium level amenities, terrace level amenities and all. So those, those areas we are playing around with whatever she suggested to bring those kids from gadgets to gardens. That's what we have been working on that, and we are creating those trends, and we are explaining those things to our customers while coming for buying apartments from us or properties from us.
Right. So before I open the floor for questions from people from the audience, there's one last question that I'd like to ask you. Like, if you compare India and other countries, if you can talk about any futuristic trends that's there in the other countries which you think will have a major impact on the real estate sector out here?
I think a lot of construction technology is something that we can concentrate on improving. Of course, the Indian terrain conditions are quite different from the other countries, so that's something. A lot of research has to be done in terms of improving the construction technologies, how they can be fastly built and also with the right good quality and the best quality is something that we have to focus on, in which doing that we can actually compete in the developed countries and we can actually beat them in real estate. And we're actually seeing that trend. Most of the investors are coming to India to invest, so that's something that's a good sign. And secondly is talking about the customer experience and the customer journey. Like you started this panel discussion with the first question talking about VR and AI, right?
Right.
So on those lines is something that we can work on, and I think that will help the whole customer journey and the project journey in a way, from starting from the brand awareness to the customer and the building of the project, with the best practices. holistically we can ensure that we do the best in the world.
Right.